Hi, welcome. My name is Dave Stiegel. I'm a shareholder at Lawton and Cates. Thank you for taking a couple minutes to check out this video. Today I'm going to talk briefly about what rights you may or may not have associated with a college dorm room. So as always, if there's something I talk about that you have a question on or you simply want to leave a comment, feel free to do so. You can leave a comment below the video here directly, or you can either call or email me at Lawton and Cates. I'll put a link to my contact information below the video as well. So the trend of the last couple of videos has been answering questions about relatively common scenarios that people have, mainly interacting with the police. So I do believe that you have to know what your rights are before you can exercise them. I appreciate the questions that I've received. I'm sorry it's taken me some time to answer them. But for a variety of reasons, I had a couple questions related to dorm rooms, so I thought I'd share some of that information with you all. So let's get to it. The first question the most commonly asked question is, can the police just barge into your room without a warrant? The answer is no. The Fourth Amendment applies to a dorm room in the same way that it would apply to me or a family or anybody living in a residence, a traditional single-family residence. So our Supreme Court, much like the Wisconsin Supreme Court, has ruled that warrantless entries into a home are presumptively unreasonable. Okay, so there are some exceptions. I won't go into the great detail about them. To give you an example, one's hot pursuit. So if the police are chasing an offender or somebody or a suspect and the person runs into a home, the police can oftentimes continue their pursuit. They don't necessarily need to stop at the door. If there's a threat of safety, if there's a threat of human life, the rules are a little bit different. But generally speaking, no, the police cannot just barge into your dorm room unless they have either an arrest warrant and probable cause that you're inside or a search warrant. Okay. Can a RA or a residential assistant or advisor search your room? Now this is a little bit different. They're controlled by their own policy. I'll leave a link, at least in Wisconsin, I'll leave a link to the UW policy. They use a standard that is reasonable evidence to believe. And reserve the right to enter dorm rooms in the interest of either safety or health or maintenance, things along those lines. So can an RA just enter your room? The answer is maybe, perhaps. Okay, and again, if you have specific questions, I'd refer you back to the link below that'll have the room entry policy itself. You can read it and see if it applies to your situation or answers your question. Now, I'm also asked, can the police search your room without a warrant? Okay, so that answer is also generally no. Remember, our Supreme Court has determined that warrantless entries and warrantless searches of the residence are generally unreasonable. So assuming that the cops are already lawfully inside your room, they can't just start searching through all your private belongings. There are some exceptions, of course. The main one is consent. So if the police ask you, hey, can we search your room, and you tell them yes, they'll do so. So you may want to consider whether you really want to give that authority to the police or not. So if they search you or if they arrest you in your dorm room, sometimes the police can have an expanded little area they can search. If there's items of criminality or evidence of a crime in plain view, the police are entitled to search this. They can't create plain view by moving things around, but if the police enter a dorm room and see obvious evidence of a crime, they're allowed to take that. So the related question is, can an RA search your room? Again, it's a little bit murkier. The answer I typically give is maybe. It really kind of depends on the facts of a certain situation. The room entry policy permits that entry, but there are some exceptions that it references in terms of their ability to search and take property. If it's obviously dangerous, they call it an imminent danger, so perhaps a firearm might fit into that category. If it's the school-owned property, or if it's like some unauthorized, like if you have a pet in your dorm room, they flesh out the authority to seize that stuff. So the last question, number 5 here, can the police enter the common area of the dorm rooms or the common area of the dorms themselves? That's yes. So a little bit different rule applies to a common area opposed to your specific dorm room. So you should generally assume that the police can enter all common areas of any university building or dorm room without necessarily having specific permission from you or someone else. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. I buzzed through the 5 most common questions quickly, but I think that's probably enough to give you just sort of a general answer. Again, sort of a bonus question here. What do you do if this applies to you, or the police have searched your room and you got a question about it? You don't. My advice is simple. Don't say anything and call a lawyer as soon as you can so you can talk about it in private. Okay? If you'd like me to tell you exactly and specifically what I would recommend in your situation, you can reach out to me by phone or email. There's no charge or obligation on your end for our initial consultation. So, again, I hope that's helpful. Gives you some information to help you exercise your rights in a more intelligent manner. Again, thank you. My name is Dave, and I'm a shareholder at Lawton & Cates. I'll see you next time.